This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed composer and pianist, the one and only Patrick Gutman. But before we get to our interview, here's a sneak peek at Patrick's incredible talent. Well, hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm doing great, Will. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you after months on the books. And you are in Los Angeles, me in New York. We will not duke out which coast is best, but you know what? We are both doing what we love, which is creating art. And look at us coming together.
Absolutely.
Listen, Patrick, I want to get right into it. We just heard a little bit of your incredible talent with some meditative, beautiful, gorgeous music that I've been listening to for a few days now. What is it about? What is it about for you, the healing nature of music that inspires you to create?
Well, I think music is one of those universal languages that everyone can relate to. And I think in the world of health and wellness, we forget that feeling good is a way into feeling better and having physical health improve. And so music has been such an easy way for both myself and others to enter into these deep states of relaxation, to release resistance, which in turn will allow us to feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so whether it's meditative music or listening to your favorite, dance song or pop music, the goal is to uplift our souls into an elevated state, and that brings us into health and wellness. So I've always been inspired by combining both of those worlds together.
I love it. Well, you're doing it, my friend. And I think it's just beautiful, intentional focus that you have on the healing properties of what you're able to create, not only through your craft, but also your study of music theory and probably how the fusion of certain notes and rhythms can affect one's being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just given my background, I feel I'm someone who's able to bring in all these different aspects and see how it feels within our mind and body so that we can create music that's not only effective, but also sounds beautiful and is something that you'll want to keep coming back to feel better and better. So it all works together synergistically.
Well, I should be calling you Dr. Patrick Gutman. That's exactly who you are, Mr. Fancy Schmantz with the PhD in music composition. Yes. I want to know, in terms of what you were able to work on during the pandemic, you must have felt that your love of this type of music that you create, which obviously is only a segment of the music you create, is needed now more than ever in a time when I feel like as people, but especially artists, because we're all empath sensitive people, where we're all, reacquainting ourselves with that inner child, possibly moving through trauma in this traumatic time, that your music is needed now more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that. I think right now everyone's looking for a way to feel better in our life, right? Especially given the whole crazy of pandemic. And so right now, mental health especially is such a huge factor in this. And so I feel that by creating this music, it's giving people an opportunity to connect with ourselves and connect with others and allow ourselves to move through the contrast that so many people are moving through right now. And so for myself, music's just always been a way for connection and feeling better. And right now, I think in the past few years, the music I have been writing, both meditative and not, are meant to inspire. For example, just a month ago, I released a new song for 5 singers a cappella for Tomorrow Promises Light. And so the whole piece is talking about hope and light during dark times and reminding us that we've been through some pretty crazy times in the history of mankind, and yet somehow we keep evolving and expanding past. And so when we have something like a pandemic, it could be so easy to want to get down on ourselves and feel like the world's going one way, but really there's a blossoming period that happens from that dark, and that's where the light comes in. And so I want to just do my part to keep spreading that love into the world and the universe.
Well, I think in addition to what you create musically, Patrick, you should have your own worldwide podcast, because you have such a way of, I think, capturing what we need now more than ever. And I think beneath the surface of everything that you've created, that the audience, by the way, can look at the links below to take a sneak peek at your incredible body of work. But it's also the fact that you're talking about the universality of the music you create to connect people, but also you are providing, Patrick, a safe space for people to release. I think something that they need to do now more than ever.
Absolutely. And that's the goal, right? We want that opportunity to have that safe space, whether it's alone or with a group of people you're sharing an experience with. But that is what allows that opening to happen, and that release of that tension, whether it's in the mind or the body that we're feeling. And so the goal is, of course, to just bring us into that space of that love and that trust and that well-being that really is here, even in the dark at times.
Well, listen, Dr. Patrick Gutman, I could speak with you forever. Again, I want to let the audience know, though, for more on the incredible Patrick, you can read more about him right below this video. Patrick, I'm so excited you're coming on board this incredible new app.
Yes.
You know, and also obviously that we are now connected, but, you know, I have to also say, of the artists within the creation of musical compositions that I feel you most remind me of, and I don't know if you've ever gotten this, but I've actually got to speak with over 75 artists in the East, especially China, Japan, and Singapore. There's something about your music that reminds me a lot of that Eastern sensibility. And I don't know if this is subconscious or in your studies, but I have not met yet of the many, many composers from the West that have such a unique blend of the East and West. Again, I don't know if you're doing it subconscious or not.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm kind of one of those, I feel like a hybrid, where I kind of just pull from all styles, really. I mean, I grew up with rock and dance music mixed with the classical and the film. And so I kind of pull from all these different worlds, because I think each piece can create its own unique experience. And so I never was one to say I should only write this music or only write this, but rather if I want to write a piece to uplift, or I want to write a piece for an action scene, or I want to write a piece for whatever, a vocal group, it's what's inspiring me now, and I can pull from that background. And I think my educational background gave me a little more of that foundation, so that I know what's out there, and I can allow it to not only inspire me, but inspire others as well.
Well, I think you mentioned something really important there, especially for a lot of the young artists out there. We have a lot of young artists who view these videos and interviews that don't allow the world, or don't put yourself in one box. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Allow the message to ask for the type of genre it wants to be. And if it's a fusion of that, God bless. And you're just a perfect example of a true artist, Patrick. And I'm, again, so grateful for your time today.
Wonderful. Well, it was nice to talk to you. Well, I really appreciate it.
You too.